This is the guy who came into Ohio when things were tough, when there was an $8 billion budget gap, and he turned that around and turned it into a surplus. When you were losing employers and losing jobs every month, he turned that around. 400,000 jobs been created. And he also has a little part of his resume that says he was in Washington for a while, worked with the Armed Services Committee. And so you look at this guy, and unlike the other people running, he has a real track record. He has the kind of record that you want in Washington, and that's why I'm convinced that you're going to do the right thing tomorrow.
All right, that was former 2012 Republican presidential candidate Governor Mitt Romney on the campaign trail with Ohio Governor John Kasich earlier today. Joining me now, 2016 Republican presidential contender, Governor John Kasich. Well, it sounds like an endorsement. The only problem is he's doing the same thing for Rubio in Florida. Exact same thing. Robocalls for you in Ohio, robocalls for Rubio in Florida. And I've always liked Governor Romney. I really do. I think he would have been a great president. But it's disappointing because there seems to be an orchestrated campaign to just prevent the two leading candidates from getting to 1237. Your reaction?
Well, look, we wanted Mitt Romney to be here. He was the standard bearer 4 years ago, and the people that want to support me, all the way from Arnold Schwarzenegger to the coach Urban Meyer at Ohio State, the former coaches Jim Tressel, we wanted Mitt Romney to be here. He's a standard bearer. Republicans like him. And he's in here to tell people to support me here in Ohio, and I'm really pleased to have him. And the fact is, tonight I'm here almost at my doorstep. I'm here in my hometown, and I'm going to tell people about what Romney said about improving the economy of Washington and improving the economy in the state of Ohio, and taking that and going back to Washington. Yeah,
you did a good job. You balanced the budget. I think you've done a good job in Ohio. I have disagreements over immigration with you, but I'll tell you what I don't like here. If you're going to tell him what he said about Marco Rubio in Florida, to me, this is all an effort by people that want to prevent either Cruz or Trump from getting to 1237. And you said to me that you think it would be great, it's going to be exciting if it goes to the convention floor. Here's my question. If Trump or Cruz has the most delegates and the most votes, and let's say you come in third place, do you think you should have a right to the nomination as much as them?
You got to, the fact is, Sean, we keep talking about smoke-filled rooms and everything else. There's no smoke-filled rooms at a convention.
Sure it is.
I was there in '76, and I was there in '76. How many conventions have you been to?
A lot.
I was there in 1970. Okay. Have you been to the presidential convention and seen a fight with the delegates? Okay. I was there.
You're not answering my question. I asked a simple question.
Sean, I'll answer your question. Look, when you take a test, if 90 is an A and you end up at 85 or 86, that's not an A. Now, obviously, if you're close to it, you have a big advantage in a convention, and I understand that. But you know what? We don't know how this is going to end up because we still have 1,000 delegates yet to be picked.
And I think it should be fought that way.
But I'll tell you what. Let's say that I beat the two of them, but I don't have the magic number.
I think
then we're going to the convention. And well, I would not go in there and say because I have more than them, I should get it. I have to win the delegates to be able to be the nominee.
But if there's
Those
an
are the
effort
rules.
by people to, in other words, if they're saying vote Rubio here and vote Kasich here and vote Cruz here and vote this person here, in other words, to prevent somebody from getting 1237, yeah, they're allowed to do it. I believe in freedom of speech. But to me, it's all to create a big fight on the convention floor.
Well,
now, you said it would be an education for our kids. I would argue that if the #1 vote getter and delegate getter gets denied the nomination, that their supporters are going to bolt. They'll never vote in the general election. Do you think I'm wrong?
Yeah, I do. I think the Republican Party will be united when we leave the convention because we'll want to beat Hillary Clinton. And one of the considerations they're going to take into account is who can beat Hillary Clinton. I'm the only one in Ohio, anyone running that can beat her in Ohio. But, Sean, here's the other aspect of it is I didn't tell my people to go vote for somebody else. I'm not involved in any games
Rubio
whatsoever.
said to vote for you in Ohio.
Well, okay, but I didn't. They asked me about should people who are for me in Florida vote for somebody else. They said no. Look, I'm running for president.
I'm not saying you're a part of it. But here, let me ask. Could I ask one last question?
Let me. Well, I haven't had a thing to say. You've been asking all the questions and speaking.
Well, you know what it's like to host a show. You've done enough hosting.
I feel like I'm in a debate and I don't get called on. But go ahead. What's your last question?
If you come in third, do you think you should, and other people had a lot more votes than you and a lot more delegates than you, do you think you should really be up for that nomination at that point?
Sean, I'm not going to get into projecting. We'll see when we get there.
How about
Why would
if Donald Trump's in third place? If Donald Trump comes in third.
Sean, I'm not going to get in projecting what's going to happen. This is the craziest election that we've had in decades. And I'm taking things a day at a time. Look, I'm running for president because I have the experience, the record, and the skills to lead this country. I'm not interested in any parlor game or electing a class president. I'm interested in being president of the United States because I know how to handle international affairs and I know what it takes to fix the economy. That's why I'm running for president, and I'm going to run to the very inch of everything that I can do. So I don't want to get into, you know, what about this or what about if that happens? I'll take care of Ohio. Then on Wednesday, I'm going to Pennsylvania. I'm going to travel across this country, and I'm going to campaign, you know, in a way in which I'm finally being heard, and I believe I'll be the nominee. How do you like that one, Sean?
Listen, I've never known you to be shy, so I'm not surprised at all.
I love you, man, but, I mean, let's just take it a day at a time. But thanks for giving me a chance to be on.
We love having you. Governor, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for being with us.